Hi, Sag. Thanks for joining me for your November 2017 forecast for the month. I wanted to tell you I'm having a spooky special that's running now through November 4th. If you purchase a 1-hour reading with me or longer, or a 90-minute session, you will receive a 10-minute free reading to use either at the end of your 60-minute session or to use anytime throughout the rest of the year, of this year. And I wanted to do something special this Halloween and for a little bit of November. I'm also shuffling the Ludi Lascaux Tarot from New Orleans. It looks like this. And let's get to it. On the 4th, we have our full moon at 11 degrees of Taurus. So there is closure in your 6th house of errands and completion of tasks at hand for Sagittarius, and this is a very powerful month for you. This is a super moon, and this meaning it occurs closest to the earth, and she is at her perigee, is what that's called. When we have these super moons, they are potent because it's like you can touch them right out of the sky. But this is a potent energy in the 6th house for Sagittarius of health and daily work, routine. And to see the full moon here, I like this. There's a completion, an end to an ailment, an end to a task at hand. And with the 6th house, it can get a little, tedious. So to have some completion here, it works for Sagittarius. There's so much happening this month. It's your solar return approaching, so happy birthday. On the 5th, Mercury is entering your 1st house, and you have Saturn stationed with you, and he's been there for 3 years. I'm sure you're aware because you felt the restrictive energy. Mercury entering this sector is great for all of you editors, writers, journalists, analysts. Basically, it can't hinder any profession, but in particular, the writers and public speakers excel at this time, and anyone who's covering a vast amount of data. Even students with Mercury in the 1st will have effortless studies for this period of time. Mercury is also going to retrograde in this sector with you, and that happens on the 3rd of December at 29 degrees. I'm ahead of myself a little bit, but I wanted to mention this. And then he retrogrades back to 13 degrees. So the retrograde is from the 3rd of December through December 22nd in your 1st house. So, Merry Christmas. It's not on Christmas though, but it's gonna, make you a little tongue-tied. And I know I'm in advance, but I wanted to talk a little bit about that and just to prepare you in advance. So, speech, technical delays, glitches, delays in travel, computers and equipment, small technologies can go on the fritz during the retrograde, so please plan accordingly. And you're also not processing information as quickly as you can be as a fire sign. So your pace itself can slow down in a retrograde in the 1st house of body and self. Now, on the 7th, going back to November, on the 7th, Venus enters Scorpio, conjunct Jupiter in your 12th house. And with Mercury and Saturn in the 1st, and then Venus and Jupiter in the 12th, that chunk, that area of your chart is heavy with these influenced planets. But some of them are in the 1st body of where you want to take action, and some of them are in the 12th house of where you are retreating, and it's all about the deep subconscious mind. You are very intuitive over the next year, Sagittarius. With Jupiter in this sector, you are expanding the intuitive self, the internal workings of how you process. Your dream life is expanded. Definitely stock up on the dream journals because this is a year of downloading for Sagittarius. It's also the best year to quit a habit. If you are a smoker and you're done with it, but you just struggle with it because it's an addiction, try quitting from the 7th through the remainder of the month. You could have some harmony in this area, being Venus, harmony, conjunct Jupiter, benevolence. You might feel more positive about what it is that you release, is also how I'm interpreting that, because Jupiter is the positivity. And I want you to circle the 11th, 1111, because Saturn in your first house, where you've been limited and going through your Saturn return, especially Sagittarius risings, this is your definite Saturn return. Oh, did someone just, I hope I caught that on video, because I actually feel like a presence just literally went past me. Anyway, Sagittarius rising, this is your Saturn return. So on the 11th, the first house energy, trining where Saturn is, trining Uranus in Aries at an exact 25 degrees. So this exact trine in between the first and the fifth house, this is sudden insight in regards to romantic relationships, who you are attracted to. Could also apply to your children if you have them, your creative endeavors. You feel limited at times in the body, and especially Sagittarius rising. So please watch all three of those for your scope. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to listen for, because I'm hearing some things as I'm delivering this, so bear with me. The body can feel restricted over this last 3-year period of time, where you feel like you maybe make it through a little bit of a hurdle and maybe some weight loss, and then it comes back on, or it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, or something like that. But with this kind of insight, this exact trine, relieving a little bit of the pressure of Saturn in the body, you're open for expansion here. Uranus is saying, wait, we want you to have a breakthrough in the area of the 5th house and ease up on some of the limitation in the 1st house. So some of you could be announcing pregnancies if that applies to you, because it's like a sudden pregnancy. It'd be something that was not planned at all. So if that applies according to your sex and age, I mean, amazing. It could also be that you are inspired throughout a creative endeavor, where there's some kind of insight coming through for you to see in your romantic situation. You could meet someone very suddenly on the 11th. And it lightens the load a little bit of what you've been carrying with you in terms of Saturn. On the 18th, we have our new moon at 26 degrees of Scorpio in the 12th house. So, again, releasing what is no longer healthier and doesn't serve a beneficial purpose. New moons could also see you wanting to incorporate time for spiritual practices, listening to music, things that are relaxing and easing to the subconscious mind. Hypnosis and hypnotherapies could apply. Finding new treatments that align with your spiritual self can come into play here as well. On the 21st, the sun enters Sagittarius, conjunct Mercury, conjunct Saturn. Wherever the life force goes, this is where we focus. This is your Saturn return and your solar return. So happy birthday to Sag. And the next day, Neptune goes direct. So there's clarity in the world. This will be helpful for all of us because maybe some of the lawmakers will be able to agree or not agree on certain policies and just have things not so delusional happening in the world, because that's what Neptune is. And to have him retrograde so long is... it makes you think you're listening to crazy people on the television. So, having Neptune direct, we love as a society and as a global universe. And then on the 29th and 30th, circle those days because I'm seeing a beautifully aspected relationship between Neptune and Jupiter. And this is a magical energy. 29th and 30th is a day of relief, and this is applying to your home life, your fourth house of environment. Some of you might be returning to a comfortable place, maybe a vacation spot that you love, or you're having people in the home. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I don't even know the exact date of that. I'm so into the astrology. Holidays are like, what's that? I think it's the 24th or 25th or 26th, somewhere in there. But yes, that makes sense for you to be in the home environment, going back to a place you feel comfortable in. I'm going to pull the cards now to see what comes up for Sag, and I wanted to let you know again about the spooky special. If you ever wanted a reading with me, now is the time to purchase it. You'll get 10 minutes free. And the song that you hear on the intro of these videos and the outro, I've been receiving an enormous amount of private emails about it, but it is my song that I wrote and recorded back in 2011, and it is now available for purchase if you like what you hear, and the links are below. And I wrote that with a guitar player named Guido Bryant, and yeah, so thank you. It's called My Golden Bow. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate the inspiration because I was inspired to actually do something about that. Okay, so the first card for Sagittarius, Ace of Wands. This is Ludi too. She does her own image on every ace in the deck. So Ace of Wands is fire. That's Sagittarius. So she means business here, and there's action. That salamander is a symbol of fire as well. Pregnancy too, a seed of that fifth house. That 11/11 is a tricky day. It's like, oop, what's that? Inspiration, creativity, a creative endeavor, fertility, abundance, and creative leverage is coming up. I love this card. I dressed this one up months back, but it's one of my favorite images on this deck. Six of Swords, travel, long distance, abroad, and some of you could be traveling through the holiday, and I would do so before Mercury goes retrograde in your first house, before the 3rd of December. Don't travel between the 3rd and the 22nd. If you can avoid it, I know that most people are like, whatever, I live my life. If it impedes me, it impedes me. Great. But there's a whole array of energies where this could, it's not just the travel where it could kind of work against you. It's how you process the experience that I don't want Sagittarius to get tripped up in. Oh, you see how he's kind of like hailing that ship? He's like, hey, I want to get on that ride, but he's not at the end of the dock yet. The infinity symbol is next to his feet in the form of that rope. And I don't know if you could see, you could see that at the bottom. In order to accomplish your goals and to make these experiences of the trip happen, in order to make the trip happen, you have a little bit more to go. Oh, okay. I'm getting like this infinity symbol now that I mention it, but I know what they mean now. You have a little bit more to go before Saturn leaves your first house, and that happens on the winter solstice of this year, the 21st of December 2017. And that's what this space is. You have a little bit more to go before you're free to just no care in the world, because this little irritation called Saturn is friction, is realignment, it's uncomfortable energy. Queen of Cups. This is a water sign female, psychic female, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Love, love, love this card. Intuition. Nurturing, comfort. The Queen of Cups is compassionate and open-hearted. Some of you are traveling with this woman. And some of you are meeting her and you are immediately attracted to her energy. Because the Ace of Wands is an attraction and what you lust over. Ugh, I've got to dress this card up. This is it. I get so inspired looking at these. The Knight of Fire. Movement. Yeah. Moving. Some of you on the 29th and 30th, just prior to Mercury retrograding, with Neptune direct, you're seeing that the place you're living in the 4th house where Neptune's stationed, you're seeing it with clarity now, and maybe it's not the best fit for you. There could also be plumbing issues that need to be tended to when Neptune does go direct. And Neptune is Poseidon, governs the ocean energy. It's water. And when the planet's shifting in energy, that's when pipes burst, and that's when toilets overflow, and plumbing needs to be snaked, and all sorts of water issues. So keep your eyes open around the house. And some of these might be a little bit, maybe you don't want to deal with the problems, and you're like, you know what, we're moving. I don't want to fix it. I'm over it. Something like that. Because of the 4th house of home and environment being affected. You have one more card. Hey. The Moon. Wow, talk about nebulous energy. I'm in love with this tarot deck, and this is the card of illusion and dreams and emotion, intuition. 12th house, of course, where Jupiter is. All of that, dreams, intuition is all 12th house, and Jupiter is there for a year, conjunct Venus on the 7th. So make sure you're, okay, thank you. Make sure you're seeing everything clearly in your environment, and make sure you're processing your accurate intuition. We're all science, we're all energy, and you can choose to be emotionally attached to something, or you could not. The feeling I'm getting is Saturn has you arranging everything in a compartment. And you have a compartmentalized arrangement for every part of your life. And I'm getting very stern energy right now. Like it's this is this way, this works this way for me. Maybe you're too structured. Maybe you need to just allow some of the mystery and some of the nebulous energy to just relax you. I'm getting a little high-strung energy. You started with fire. You are fire. And then getting a move on is making you a little restless too. But you've got these dreamy and, intuitive cards here. Well, the Queen isn't always dreamy, but she does want to be around what comforts her. So question this: does your environment comfort you? I say that because of the 4th house affected very deeply on the last 2 days of the month. Maybe it takes this month for you to realize and see what needs to happen in terms of the home you live in, and if you're buying a place, or whether you're not buying a place, or something around those lines is going to be adjusted for Sagittarius. I hope this was helpful for you. I'm wishing you a sweet November, Sag. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.